I'm sorry, Mr. Chair.
Was the article about you, Ms. Crockett?
It was not about me.
Okay, Chair recognizes
Mr.
Min.
Unanimous consent, which are not debatable.
Mr. Chairman, I'm prepared to take on all comments. So I entertain
If somebody tries to put an article in about you, and I've read a few.
I'm sure y'all want to talk about my private school, honey.
If somebody does, you can defend yourself. Mr. Min.
And if we continue to put people into office, and that even means some of our skinfolk who definitely are not our kinfolk, such as Byron Donalds, who are going to continue to say that, like, I mean, the fact that you sitting around talking about life was better under Jim Crow, like, is this because you don't understand history? Or literally it's because you married a white woman and so you think that whitewashed you? I'm not really sure, like, what it is.
Well,
but
you
I
couldn't
need
even be married to a white woman under Jim
correct,
Crow.
correct. And it took Joy to call him out. So I'm like, bruh, like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you saying? Like, he just out here, you know, I feel like they give him his talking points and he's like, yes, massa, I got it.
First of all, I'm tired of that BS. First and foremost, it got nothing to do with my wife. Let's just put that right out in the open. They're mad because I'm a conservative Republican and I'm not a Democrat who believes in crazy liberal policy. If I believed in crazy liberal policy, which I do not, then they would be singing my praises. And they wouldn't care that my wife is white. Kamala Harris, her husband's white. Ketanji Brown Jackson, her husband's white. They not say anything about those two dudes or the fact that they married white men because they follow Democratic liberal ideology. Second thing, to Jasmine herself. Jasmine, last year, you and I were supposed to be debating on several different stages. You canceled. I don't know what's going on in your schedule. That's your personal business. But if you want to flush this out, I'm not hard to find. Pick the show, pick the place. I'll be there. I'm unafraid. I basically go anywhere we do this. Number three, last and not least. Nobody tells me what to say. I don't use talking points. When somebody asks me a question, you basically know how I feel about it because I'm telling you right then and there. If you're concerned about what my viewpoints are very clear because you could Google me because I know I have plenty of media interviews at this point. So I would just say that back to my colleague from Texas. Don't be concerned about my marriage. Be concerned about the fact that your party lost because your policies are awful. The American people rejected it. And if you want to debate those policy constructs, come find me. We will do it anywhere.
Wow, what you just saw is a powerful example of the kind of intense political clashes happening today. This goes beyond a simple policy disagreement. The moment highlights the growing tensions between different political viewpoints in Washington. In the clips we're about to watch, the focus turns to Byron Donalds, one of the prominent conservative voices in Congress. The criticism directed at him moves beyond policy debates and becomes much more personal in tone, which has fueled even more controversy around the exchange. You'll also see a sharp confrontation involving Jasmine Crockett. As the discussion unfolds, accusations and counter-arguments fly back and forth, turning the moment into a heated political showdown. Throughout the exchange, Donalds pushes back against the criticism and defends his position with confidence, laying out his perspective and arguments. Supporters view his response as a firm stand against political attacks, while critics see the situation very differently. The moment ultimately becomes a clash of narratives, questions of accountability versus criticism, policy versus personal attacks. We're going to watch the full exchange and then break down the key moments to understand how the situation escalated and why it sparked such strong reactions. Before we jump in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments, because this is definitely one of those moments people have a lot to say about. Let's get into it.
Thank you. I request unanimous consent to enter into the record this May 16, 2024 article from the Washington Post titled, "A Congressman Spared Prison as a Teen Tells D.C. to Be Tough on Youth," which covers the story of a sitting congressman who used a pre-trial diversion program to avoid jail time
read, Mr. Chairman,
with intent to distribute and had a bribery charge.
Mr. Chairman, the title's been read.
And yet that is
Mr. Chairman, the title's been read. We're not reading the entire document.
All you have to do is say the title and the publisher. So without objection.
Mr. Chairman, and since the gentle lady is referring to me, I wonder if she would like to debate the actual topic. I'm more than prepared to debate the topic. I've been doing it my entire life.
Do you want to?
You voted illegally your entire life?
Would the lady yield the gentleman from Florida?
No, it's not a debate. It's an article that obviously you admit is about you, about how you were spared prison as a teen and now want to not allow other young people.
Actually, for the gentle lady, let's be very clear. The article is wrong. The article is wrong, and I'm on the record stating that repeatedly. I've never been proud
of what happened when I was 18 years old or 20 years old. I was wrong. And under the laws of the state of Florida, I was held accountable for that as an adult. So let's be very clear about what was written in that article, which is wrong. That does not coincide with the language that I passed off the House floor the other day. If you want to read articles and put them in the record, let's be clear about what they are. And since I'm the only subject matter expert on that article, I would like to set the record straight right now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Right.
I'm requesting equal time. I'm sorry, Mr. Chair.
Was the article about you, Ms. Crockett?
It was not about me.
Okay, Chair recognizes Mr. Min.
Unanimous
Mr.
consent,
Chairman,
which are not debatable.
Mr. Chairman, I'm prepared to take on all comers. So I entertain
If somebody tries to put an article in about you, and I've read a few.
I'm sure y'all want to
but we
talk
haven't
about
put 'em
my
in.
private school, honey.
If somebody does, you can defend yourself. Mr. Min.
Mr. Chairman, I actually have a point of personal privilege.
Yes, state your point.
It was raised earlier in an article about me, so let's just get to it.
I thought we did this already.
No, well, we're doing it again because your name was not raised, so now we get to do it twice. Thank you.
No.
He's being recognized for a point of privilege.
It's a point of personal
well,
privilege.
we gonna need
Thank
one
you very
too.
much. I don't think it's really personal for you, madam. Let's be clear about a couple of things. Yes, when I was 18 and 20, I was arrested twice. I made a lot of mistakes when I was young. I've admitted them. I've had to live with them my entire life. Every day since the age of 21, I've had to purpose myself to be a better man than I was the day before. That is something that was afforded to me by the laws of the state of Florida. And I'm grateful for that opportunity. And now I'm here in the nation's capital doing my job. In Florida, when I got into my trouble, I was not tried as a juvenile. I was tried as an adult because I was an adult. And since that point in time, I have worked, whether it's at the state level or here at the federal level, to make sure that our criminal justice policies and systems actually make sense, and they are built to secure and protect the citizens that we all serve. That's a mission I've been on ever since.
Will the gentleman yield?
I'm not going to yield because it's a personal point of privilege. It's not for you.
I just wanted to clarify
something. For the record, I wanted to make that point be clear. Yes, I'm the author of the D.C. Crimes Act. Yes, I believe that adults over the age of 18
Mr.
should be held
Chairman,
accountable as adults.
this is not a campaign ad for the gentleman's governorship.
This is not a campaign ad. I'm stating it for the record because it was raised by the gentle lady. I'm sorry I didn't catch your name. I know you're a freshman member of the House, and I have never had a chance to meet you, but it was raised, so I wanted to provide a response because my name was brought up in an article submitted for the record. I think
Point
I'm
of
done
information.
now. I yield. One of my colleagues, you know her, she was supposed to debate me a couple times. The president refers to her as Crockett. And so Crockett was supposed to debate me. And a funny thing happened. Her schedule would always change. I would be ready to go. My team would say, all right, sir, she's coming in, you're going to debate about this stuff. And it would change. And miraculously, she couldn't do it. And the reason why the schedule kept changing is because we understood very quickly that when you try to debate somebody who knows the facts, has the substance, brings common sense, and has a better argument, it's better for your schedule just to change.
Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Governor, you're wrong. You need to apologize to these agents. They're doing their jobs. They are Americans. They serve this country with honor and decency and respect. Do not diminish their work simply because you tried to make a cheap point that you could tweet.
Chair, now recognize Mr. Donalds from Florida.
Thank you, Chairman. To piggyback off my colleague, Governor Pritzker, how much does the state of Illinois spend on illegal immigration every year?
Again, illegal immigration, that's a federal responsibility. They could tell how much is wasted as a result of their failures.
Governor, don't you keep track of how many people are on your Medicaid rolls, how many people who are illegal immigrants in the state of Illinois who are getting actually benefits in your state? Doesn't your government keep track of that?
They don't get Medicaid in Illinois or any state as far as I know.
Governor Pritzker, you do not keep track of any public service dollars in the state of Illinois that goes to illegal immigrants or goes to people in your state who are not legal residents of the United States. and of the state of Illinois? You don't keep track of that?
We absolutely keep track of our budget, and we're very closely. And in fact, it's been balanced for 7 years in a row, unlike the Republican before me. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. I noticed that in the state of Illinois, you guys don't really keep track of your money, because I asked your mayor in Chicago similar question about a month ago, and he didn't have an answer. It was quite interesting. I think this might be an Illinois problem. Governor Hochul, in your state, you are spending about roughly $4 billion on illegal immigration. And at the same time, you are actually asking the federal government for $4 billion to finish Penn Station. Don't you think it would be better to stop funding illegal immigrants in your state and actually use those resources to finish Penn Station as opposed to coming to the federal government for the money?
Penn Station is owned by Amtrak, not by the state, so it's an appropriate use of their dollars, and Donald Trump has agreed to spend upwards of $7 billion. I appreciated that very much. What we spend on immigrants, the immigrants who are here hardworking to live a life and working on our farms and taking care of our parents in nursing homes and taking care of our children, they have been coming here for 400 years. And we don't keep track of individuals based on their status. We make sure that people have services so we don't end up with an unexpected.
So essentially what you're telling me is that you keep no track of money that is going to people who are not legal in the United States, resources that are taken away from New Yorkers, resources that are taken away from Illinoisans. You guys do not keep track of any of this.
You know what's really challenging is that many people came here with legal status. I mean, temporary protective status, 300,000.
All of
a sudden they wake up one day and it's
do you go along with the strategy from the Biden administration, which massively expanded immigration protocols that overwhelmed your city and overwhelmed your state? Do you agree with that?
We call for secure borders. We call for this body to
I
do
never
its
remember
job.
you calling for secure borders at all, Governor Hochul.
We certainly have.
That
We
doesn't
certainly
sound
have.
like him to my memory.
Many conversations I had with the White House. We asked for federal resources. I mean, you're putting a federal problem on our laps, and you know what? It gets old after a while. I wish you would just do your job.
If your
here
party
and
actually would
pass
do the job of
meaningful
securing the nation the way President Trump has now had to do twice, we wouldn't be in this predicament. Wouldn't you agree? Do you agree or disagree that securing the nation's borders is the job of the President of the United States? President Trump has done that job twice now.
Well,
and previous Democrat presidents have not done that job. Wouldn't you agree with that?
this has been a problem that's been in place since I was a young staffer here on Capitol Hill. We worked on immigration, and Ronald Reagan signed amnesty for 3 million people.
You know, it's interesting you bring up Reagan's amnesty in '86. You know, part of that deal was to actually build border wall and secure it. But the Democrat Party refuses to build border wall. You oppose it every single time. Is that your position? Do you now support border walls?
There
Governor
has
Hochul?
been many times when bipartisan legislation is presented to this body and people just walk away from it. They refuse to do the hard work of governing like governors like us have to do every single day. When I leave here, I'm going to go home and govern a state. I'm not going to tweet about this experience because I have too much work to do taking care of New Yorkers. And
you're really not doing a good job, Governor Hochul, because a lot of New Yorkers are actually coming into my state, in Florida. Many of them, they come all the time because they actually want to come to a state that is well run, that protects citizens, does not allow illegal aliens to victimize citizens like they are victimized in the state of New York, like they are victimized in the state of Illinois, like they are victimized in the state of Minnesota. They choose states like Florida and Texas to find safer places to live and raise their families. Hold on, Governor Hochul. We've had enough time.
Crime rates are much
Governor
lower
Waltz,
than
you've been
yours.
sitting over
Much
there pretty
lower.
quiet. I got a question for you.
I love to talk. Thank you, Congressman.
Fair enough. You said earlier that the ICE agents under the orders of President Trump are a modern-day Gestapo. Do you realize how disgusting a phrase that is, considering the history of Nazi Germany? Would you like to recant that statement?
What I said, Congressman, and I have a long history of supporting law enforcement, I said President Trump was using them as his modern-day Gestapo, not identifying who you are, coming up in unmarked vans, taking people away and giving—
Is it the responsibility of ICE to actually deport illegal aliens in the United States who are here? Isn't that their responsibility?
Yes, it is, Congressman, except that the Constitution is not an inconvenience. It's not an either-or.
Nobody said an inconvenience.
You
He have a responsibility to deport illegal aliens, and the president is going through that process right now. And let's be very clear, the previous administration, they abused every process there is under border laws to allow more than 10 million people into the country illegally. And this is a burden on all Americans. And so the president is doing his job. So it is sick to refer to Americans who are ICE agents as Gestapo. Governor, you're wrong. You need to apologize to these agents. They're doing their jobs. They are Americans. They serve this country with honor and decency and respect. Do not diminish their work. simply because you tried to make a cheap point that you could tweet. I yield back.
All right, we've now watched the entire exchange, and seeing it all together makes the situation even more intense. The moment highlights a major political clash surrounding Byron Donalds, a conservative voice in Congress who has often drawn strong reactions from both supporters and critics. The controversy begins with comments made by Jasmine Crockett during an appearance on The Breakfast Club. Instead of focusing strictly on policy differences, the discussion quickly turns personal. One of the remarks that sparked backlash was her suggestion that Donalds had been whitewashed because he married a white woman. That comment immediately ignited debate online and across political circles. Critics argued that such a statement would have created massive outrage if the roles were reversed. Supporters of Donalds saw it as a racially charged attack against a black conservative who holds different political views. When Donalds responded publicly, he chose a calm approach rather than escalating the confrontation. During interviews, he dismissed the claim and argued that the criticism had nothing to do with his personal life. Instead, he framed the issue as a political disagreement, saying his critics were angry because he's a conservative Republican rather than a Democrat who supports progressive policies. Donalds also pointed out that he had previously invited Crockett to debate him directly. According to him, that debate never happened, and he renewed the challenge, saying he would be willing to discuss their ideas anytime and anywhere. Supporters viewed this as a sign of confidence in his positions. The controversy didn't stop there. During a congressional hearing, critics attempted to raise Donalds' past legal issues from when he was a teenager. The move appeared to be an effort to challenge his credibility on issues related to crime and accountability. Rather than avoiding the topic, Donalds addressed it directly. He acknowledged mistakes he made as a young man, but emphasized that he had taken responsibility and worked to build a better life. For many observers, that response strengthened his argument about personal accountability and growth. The confrontation reached another heated moment later in the proceedings when accusations of hypocrisy began flying around the room. Calls for decorum and respectful language clashed with sharp remarks and political jabs, highlighting just how tense the atmosphere had become. In the end, the episode turned into a larger political spectacle, one side accusing the other of hypocrisy and personal attacks, while the other side argued it was simply holding a public official accountable. For supporters of Donalds, the moment showed a politician standing firm against criticism and refusing to back down. For his opponents, the exchange reflected deeper disagreements about policy, rhetoric, and political conduct in Washington. Either way, the clash between Byron Donalds and Jasmine Crockett quickly became one of the most talked about political exchanges of the moment, fueling intense debate across media and social platforms.